thin. No.
So
not a nice shot to be faced with. And I think there may be a gap through the red.
One.
I think he had to play with the trace of left-hand side anyway to ensure the pot went in, and actually that's a very well measured shot.
8.
To control the cue ball. Then he could well be away again here.
9.
One thing he does do is he picks up the speed of a table quickly.
16.
At this level, most of them are quick and lively, but this is a different one to the one he played on in Coventry. Different brand of table, actually.
17.
Back on the star tables this week.
24. 25. 31. 32.
'He's a great watcher of snooker. I've watched him in the front row, seeing all the players when he's not playing. I guess he's got the best seat in the house if he's an O'Sullivan fan, but he watches shots and I see him, little smile on his face when O'Sullivan plays a good one. He's almost watching his hero here, but he's got to try and beat him somehow.
O'Sullivan does his damage so quickly, doesn't he? This is already thrown ball. Quick switch of hands. No problem.
Yeah, there could be a plant, those two reds. He may not need it, but I thought the two reds that he's now looking at are in some sort of a plant. But that was a better shot. Delightful cannon. Delightful. Perfectly judged.
54. 55. 62.
Two frames in, he looks fantastic. He looks like a man who's not taking his opponent lightly. He looks sharp. Playing like a man who's won 2 huge invitational events recently.
69.
Referee Leo Scullion is going to have his wits about him there to get the balls out in time. And it's beautiful to watch him playing well. Always has been.
77.
He'll be in his 44th year come the end of December.
78.
And no evidence really of any decline in his extraordinary talent. He shook his head, I'm not quite sure why.
84.
It's a beautiful shot again.
86.
Peter Ebdon keeping a weather eye on proceedings here. No doubt as impressed as Sahil Vahidi with O'Sullivan's
89.
cueing. Picking up here in Belfast where he left off in Coventry on Sunday evening.
93.
Turning it on for this Belfast crowd. Ebdon appreciated that.
98.
Stand by for century number 969.
104.
The 21st of the season. Brilliant.
111.
Ronnie O'Sullivan at his best. A superb clearance. Made the round of 32 at this year's Gibraltar Open, but perhaps the nature of the occasion is getting to him, which is not surprising.
I think Jimmy was right. Jimmy White in the studio said that Ronnie needs to get this match over with quickly, get through to the next round and settle into Belfast, where he's only arrived this morning on the plane. Sometimes it's just a question of being at the tournament, watching a few shocks, as long as you're not one of the people on the end of the shocks.
7.
And it was a relatively early bath for O'Sullivan 12 months ago at this event. Lost to Elliot Slesser 4-1 in the round of 64.
8.
Which incidentally was the last time Ronnie lost a best-of-7 match a year ago. And we've played a lot of tournaments since then. He's way over 20 since then that he's won. You know, a lot of people say the best-of-7s are a bit of a lottery. Well, clearly they're not in the favour of the better players, but
15.
To think that he's not lost one for a year.
60.
Quite remarkable, actually. So open the bunch here. The top red he wants to hit that full on if he can. Well, that was the problem. When you don't hit it full on, you hit the edge of one. Cue ball slithers up the table.
21.
What a shot.
22.
Wonderful cueing. Well, it's a really good red to play on. It's another fabulous positional shot. I know it wasn't difficult, but to play on that red was excellent.
28. Four. 35.
And that was a good shot as well. He's given the audience who are here to watch him, and they're all absolutely transfixed by watching O'Sullivan in action.
$41. 42. $49. 50.
Marco Fu in the background there, former Scottish Open champion in the home nations. He's had some eye problems of late, which has affected his ranking and his form. Good to see him back competing again after he took a break from the game because of that. He lost the first frame against Chen Fei Long, and it's looking like 2-0 to Chen over on the Eurosport player. Meanwhile, Ronnie O'Sullivan closing in on 3-0 in barely half an hour.
57. 63.
Well, he has had one or two chances. He's missed a couple of easy ones, but I think
64.
Sahel just a little overawed. This frame is over.
71.
Just a question of whether O'Sullivan can make it 970 career centuries.
72.
He made 74 last season. Only Judd Trump was able to match that tally. And depending on how much he plays this season, you've got to think that the magical 1,000 is well within his grasp within this campaign.
77. 78. 84.
He's looking at
85.
possible back-to-back hundreds. Performance of yesterday, which was lost, was actually Zhou Yulong, who made 3 successive centuries in his 4-1 victory. And he also made an 80-odd in the other frame.
89.
Poor old Leo Scullion.
91.
Got to be on your wits about you.
94.
I don't know if anyone hacked Ronnie's account and said that he was going to do all these different things, but he's played snooker how it's meant to be played. He's threatened to not to.
98.
But what he's done is just played the game properly and very well, I might add.
103.
What can you say? The crowd are loving it. It's an exhibition of brilliance once again from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Yeah, and that's what it's
109.
about, seeing people enjoying it. Absolutely spellbinding display already.
Never mind naughty snooker, it's scary snooker from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Scarily good, particularly if you're Sohail Vahidi sitting in your chair.
Never going to go, was it? Always bottom jaw. People at home might be thinking, well, this is a bit of a mismatch, this match, but unfortunately, sports like that, you're always going to get someone who's at the top of their game playing someone who's not doing so well. You know, get it in anything. What a pot. What a shot that was. Look at the way that he held that cue ball.
6.
And the one-sided nature of a mismatch, if indeed that's what this is magnified in snooker, of course, because there's nothing Vahidi can do when he's sitting in his chair. No response until O'Sullivan misses, and he's not missing much.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the third round of the FA Cup, isn't it? You know, a Premier League side playing a non-league side. That's probably what it feels like. Occasionally the results go against the red-hot favourite. This looks like it's not going to go that way. And one of the reasons
13.
there is no sign of any complacency here.
20. 21.
'If he's on that bottom red, he's lucky, and he puts his hand up there
26.
to acknowledge to Vahidi that he was fortunate, because he didn't play it as well as most of every other shot he's played in the match.
27.
28.
32. 33. 40. 41.
This looks like being exceptionally brief. We've only been on the table 41.5 minutes, and already Ronnie O'Sullivan closing in on victory. He will, of course, be in the studio, assuming he finishes the job, talking to Andy, Jimmy and Neil. Have you got any questions for O'Sullivan?
49.
Any wider issues to raise about the tournament? What might happen? What might unfold over the next few days here in Belfast? Hashtag Home Nations for your questions. I wonder how O'Sullivan will rate this performance.
Well, as a
56.
snooker enthusiast, I rate it very highly. Okay, it's a match he was always expected to win. But sometimes you can see a player
57.
below his best. He's played really well. And I'm pleased. It's what the tournament needs. Big performance from a leading player. So many have been knocked out. But it brings about opportunities for other players.
Yes, and for all of O'Sullivan's success this season, remember, his two
65.
titles have come in invitational, non-ranking events, so it wouldn't hurt to get a few more ranking points in the bag. He made the semi-finals, of course, in defending his English Open title.
70.
This is only his second ranking tournament appearance of the
71.
season. But once again, Ronnie O'Sullivan is setting the standard which everyone else has to aspire to.
77.
Still very much the man to beat.
78. 84. 85.
Just the 86 in the opening frame. Since then, 111, 116. Is this to be a third consecutive century to finish with a flourish?
88. 89.
You'd think so now.
$94. 96. 99.
Oh, yeah, absolutely brilliant. And this is for the third in a row then. And that sort of performance doesn't happen that often. As I said, it happened yesterday with Zhou Yulong, but 3 in a row, that really is quite special.
108.
Of course, Ronnie's done it before. But he is scoring very nicely. Just looks very confident. Why wouldn't he be? Terrific from O'Sullivan.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 108.
Simply scintillating snooker from Rocket Ronnie O'Sullivan. A masterclass once again from surely still the best player in the world when he is at his best. As he was today, 3 centuries on the bounce, an 86 for good measure, and Sahil Vahidi reduced to a mere spectator. O'Sullivan through in sensational fashion.